This is Dr. Mariah White, host of Your Life Matters. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Overwhelm is a choice. So let's choose again. Hello, welcome to Choose to Rise. I'm so grateful you decided to push play today and that you're back with me here on this episode. You know, that may not be a popular statement. Overwhelm is a choice. A lot of us are feeling a lot of overwhelm right now and don't believe it's a choice. A lot of people believe that overwhelm is happening to us and life is happening to us and all of the things. But I still am going to stand by the phrase that overwhelm is a choice. Let's choose again. How we think, how we feel, how we show up in life is a response, is a choice we make based on what's happening around us. So today I want to share with you some ways that you can control the uncontrollable. And that may even seem like an oxymoron in itself, but I'm so glad that you're here with me on Choose to Rise today because it does feel like there's a lot going on and there's a lot of things outside of our control right now. There's a lot of thoughts and feelings being thrown out there, and it's really hard to kind of separate yourself from the chaos. It's really getting kind of hard to, really listen to your own thoughts and your own heart and not get caught up in what else is happening all around you. I mean, you cannot control what happens to you necessarily. You cannot control life's plan for you, and you cannot control your happiness for not accepting the life that you've been given. However, you can control how you respond to life when it happens. You can control how you respond to other people's opinions, to other people's thoughts, and to how you show up in the world. You always have control over that. So when it feels like you're approaching an uncontrollable situation, I want to give you some strategies today to help you get rid of the negativity and focus more on the things that are going to have you strong, that are going to have you active, that are going to have you living the happier and healthier life that you know that you can have and that you deserve. And so the first thing is to, when something comes up and it's all kind of crazy, is to focus on the lesson that's present. There's always a lesson. There's always a silver lining. There's always a positive thing that's happening. And so the negative situation in something is which no one likes to get into, but there's always something to learn in every phase of life. Negative situations lets you know that your strengths and your weaknesses are. It tells you your caliber to deal with tough situations. It encourages you to, look at things in a different way. It shows you how you handle yourself in these times, and it teaches you to be positive and deal with any situation that comes at you. If you think about it, you've already overcome all the negative situations that have happened in your life. You already found your way through them. Maybe not in the best way. Maybe it took you longer to get through a negative situation than someone else, but I guarantee you it taught you something and you learned how to handle it. And when the next tough thing came your way, you were able to move through it faster or get through it in a better way. Every negative situation gives us a lesson. It's up to us when we see that lesson and how we learn from that lesson. Another thing is to not procrastinate, right? When a negative situation comes into our life, people generally procrastinate to do any other work. They avoid the things that they need to do because of their fixed mindset. They believe that this is just a stopping point for me and I should look for another direction. Instead of accepting the things that are happening and, moving through it and finding a new route. A fixed mindset says, this is my limitation. This is where I need to stop. A growth mindset says, ooh, this is a road bump. I need to figure out a way to get around it. So when you are procrastinating, you're allowing that fixed mindset to win, and you start to believe the negative situation will continue to happen and that you're never going to get out of it. But I would encourage you to look for solutions, be a solution seeker, and be a positive encourager, and to be asked questions and to find new ways of doing things. I often think that when there's a problem that's happening in my life or a sticky situation or something that's not going well for me, it means that I've got one, something to learn, and two, to look for a new way. If other people have figured it out, so can I. It's having that growth mindset to go do forward things. And sometimes that can feel really hard, especially in the times that we're in right now with the virus and COVID and do we go back to school? Do we not go back to school? Do we do this for our family? Do we do that for our family? But really, I want you to think about doing the things that's best for you, and don't procrastinate in the decision and take in all the information. Think about what you need, what your family needs, and make a decision based on that. The third piece of advice I have for you is not to get stuck in a situation. People stuck themselves in a negative situation and accept that that's just their life, right? They're like, oh, this is just how it is. And then I'm just going to have to live with this forever. I've got several family members that are that way. I am not that way. I try to get myself out of a negative situation as fast as possible. But sometimes people just take waves of things that come as this is what it is, and this is what I need to accept, and this is how it's going to be. Everyone faces adverse conditions, but it's entirely up to you how you deal with it. What effort you put in to overcome it, or if you just let it wallow and swallow you up and you stay in that stuck position forever. I want you to focus on the areas that are within your control. I started the podcast by saying, not everything is in our control. We can't always control what happens to us, what people say about us, what other people think or do, but we do have control over what we do and how we respond. And so make a chart of controlled factors and uncontrolled factors. One thing that I like to do with kids and with women that I coach and clients that I have is that we draw two circles on a piece of paper, one about the size of a couple inches circle, and then one that's really kind of the bigger picture of the circle of the whole page. And we kind of mark things in here. Like, is this something that's stressing them out, or something that is happening in their life? Like, is this something that I have direct control over? Can I change the state of this and how? Or is this something that's outside of my control because it's something that I don't have power over, or that, it's something that is not something that I can control? Where do you put your focus? Focus on the areas that are a part of the things that you can control, that you can put your energy and your focus on and your strength into, and that you have a direct impact on how it's going to work out. When you focus on the areas that are within your control, you feel more empowered, you feel more confident, you can see more growth and more action, and you don't feel like you're spinning your wheels. But if you're trying to control things that are 100% out of your control, that you don't have any reflection on whatsoever, then that's where you feel like you're spinning your wheels and you aren't going anywhere. And that's where you get frustrated and all the things. But how can you, even if they are bigger things that you may not have, you don't feel like you have a lot of control over, that my voice doesn't matter, you still get to live within your values and within yourself, and know that the little things that you're doing can help contribute to a much larger and bigger goal as a society. So then the other thing is to, really focus on your adaptability. Whatever happens in your life is beyond your control, but you cannot control you can't control a certain thing. So rather than crying over a situation, you must adapt yourself to be the prevailing case, to be the better version of yourself. So next time this comes up, you can bend and flow with the waves or with the wind or with whatever comes at you. By doing this, you know that you have the ability to survive and that you can keep going when crazy things happen in life. So when the pandemic hit and you understand that you are adaptable and you are strong and you are capable, you can just look at things in a different perspective versus having that fixed mindset when the pandemic hit, like, oh my goodness, this is all happening to me. I feel small. I feel worried. I feel out of control. I feel overwhelmed. You get to decide how you show up to those things. Another way that you can do that is by setting some goals. As the saying goes, time heals everything. But if you're facing a negative situation now, then there will be a positive situation also. But if you do not plan for it now, you're not going to get there. Everyone faces adverse situations, but what you need to do is make yourself strong enough to deal with it and go ahead with the planning for the future. Work through the situation that you're in to get to the life that you've always wanted. Make time for creating your life, for your hobby, for your passion. Make a proper lifestyle for yourself. One that includes self-care, one that includes rejuvenating yourself, one that includes bringing positive energy into your heart and mind every single day. Read books that are going to help you get to where you want to go. Take advice and guidance from the people that have gone the places that you want to do. Whenever you get stuck in negativity, find someone close to you that will help you get out of there. Not wallow in the pity with you, but it challenge you and encourage you and help you see a different perspective to get you going into a new direction. Joe Torre says, unless you've had bad times, you can't appreciate the good times. And I so agree with that. My pastor talks about, and we've talked about here on the podcast multiple times, about how we're always living two rails of life. Brooke Castillo from the Life Coach School podcast also talks about we live a 50-50 life. There's going to be pain, there's going to be sorrow, but there's also good and positivity. And you can't have one without the other. You can't appreciate the good times without having the bad times. And you can't grow and learn if you're always having good times and never a struggle. So I hope and pray that something that I've said today has helped you, to encourage you and support you, and helped you really understand that overwhelm is a choice and you just need to choose again. Look for the good, look for the positive, go in a different direction if you need to, but surround yourself with positivity. Surround yourself with people that are going places and with a growth mindset, and understand that the more energy and intention that you bring to your faith and you bring to moving forward in a tough situation, the more you're going to learn, the more fearless you're going to be, the more free you're going to be, and that you're going to have a happier and more fulfilled life. Thank you so much for listening in today. And if this is something that you really needed to hear and you appreciate it, I would love to know what your feedback is. Sharing this on your social media, tagging me in it, just totally warms my heart and lets me know that this is something that you needed or that you loved. Telling other people about Choose to Rise also helps spread the word. It also helps, I just love to cheer you on and see what you loved about the show. So thanks for joining me here today. And I will see you back here again next week. We're going to talk more about how we can continue to move forward during tough times and how you can become resilient and rise up out of your current situation to live your best life. Have a good one, everyone.